Okay, I'm starting a new series, and it's going to be called Catcher in the Rye Drunk. And that's a good title because it plays on the children's rhyme about the catcher in the rye, but it specifically applies to drunks, and I mean probably drunk adults. This is going to be a drunk series, and I don't want to apologize for that. I was recently just distracted, but I had an epiphany about 10 minutes ago because I just read the Salinger biography, and I was so interested in the beginning why this could possibly be considered a war novel. The Catcher in the Rye is a war novel. I had no idea about the intensity of Salinger's experience in the war. It really struck me deeply. I don't know why. I think because I always saw Holden Caulfield as such a aloof, kind of spoiled person that was just like the first real American voice of apathy. I don't think he was apathetic. But this first like sense of teenage angst, but how that novel came out of the war, I had no idea. And I was trying to figure this out. So I finished the biography, Salinger, and then I started reading Catcher in the Rye again. And at first, what I was trying to say is that on the rereading, when I first started, I wasn't that interested in Holden Caulfield because he is this spoiled, aloof teenager who comes from so much privilege that I'm just like, well, who fucking cares what his privileged existential drama might be? And then especially, so I had that reaction, and then especially when I started thinking about, okay, well, in the biography I read that he had the first 6 chapters of this book in his coat pocket as he confronted the D-Day invasion, which to me is just mind-blowing, to the point where I almost think it's like a Forrest Gump episode, just of like, just these like, unbelievable things. Catcher in the Rye was on the D-Day invasion beach. That's crazy to me. Anyway, so I was trying to think about in what way this spoiled New York Holden Caulfield could possibly represent anything that was considered a war novel. I couldn't figure it out until just now what my thoughts are. And I have marked it off in several spots in the book, but it really is about the Catcher in the Rye, and I always wondered what that had to do with the story itself. And what I'm thinking is that the story starts out with Holden Caulfield kind of plucked midstream of his life that he doesn't really know where it's going. It's not going anywhere he wants. He finally starts to have this realization that he wants to be a catcher in the rye. He wants to be one of those people that can hopefully engage someone who is running straight for a cliff. And he's seeing it in terms of children. And this became really clear to me when, towards the very end of the book, he has nowhere to turn. He's just left talking to Phoebe, his favorite person. He's escaped his parents' house. He doesn't even want to tell his parents he's home. That's like the saddest, loneliest place to be in the world. And it's significant because it's a war statement. It's a war story because at the very end of it, when Holden Caulfield has absolutely nowhere to turn to, he's spoken to his sister and he's got as much support as he can from her. She's so young. She's so much younger than him. She's very wise, but she's so much younger than him. She can't possibly understand the depths of his troubles. And then outside that, he has no family, no other connections, only connections with a child. So he still feels like a child running through this field. And he goes to Mr. and Mrs. Antolini's place. And even in the middle of the night, they take him in. And that's how it's a war story. I think that through all the shit and horror that war must be, the most important thing at the end of it are those people that will take you in the middle of the night with no questions asked. And those are the catchers at the rye. And those are the best people in wartime. And those are just the best people.